Real masculinity, what it is, how to develop it, principles of a king, altruism, love is real, and brotherhood. So, what is real masculinity? This consists of a variety of character traits such as integrity, freedom orientation, linear moving, consistency, and discipline. These character traits have to be developed and forged through every single day of life. The decisions that we make and the actions that we take. Every single day we have a choice to create a better future or not. Now, society, unfortunately, there's been a lot of misunderstanding of what real masculine energy is. A lot of people are starting to talk about toxic masculinity, and unfortunately, they have no idea what true masculinity even is. Like, is there such thing of that? Of course, like before, like the political thing and all that nonsense. Like, what it really is like it's like an imbalance of energy. Like using aggressive force when it's not necessary, thinking that you're better than, or neglecting the softer sides of things like emotions and all that. Of course, problems can arise from that. But today we're just seeing a bunch of examples of real masculinity, and we're being told that it's toxic. And there's not an accident why society is degenerating. It's not by accident. So today what I'm going to do is go over some real solid principles and pillars of masculinity and the importance. And no matter who you are listening to this, there's going to be value from this to know what to look for and to stay in alignment with what is actually real. So principle number one is semen retention. Now, why am I putting this here? Because if you're not in control of your sexual energy, you'll be scattered and not in control of your life. So many guys are needlessly wasting their energy. And when you don't have your purpose and your mission first, that's a problem. Everything else should be secondary to that. That's your pillar, that's your foundation. And if you don't have that, then your life will degenerate at some point. Like the immediate gratification thing, that's cool, but it's short-term focus. To have long-term investments of health and vitality in all areas of your life, like you need to know what your purpose is and stick by that. And I've done an episode on purpose, and the foundation of that, real quick, just growth and service, like becoming the best version of yourself and service orientation. So what is semen retention? Essentially, it is not expelling your seed every chance that you get. This is a Taoist sexual practice, and according to history and modern science, ejaculating all the time depletes your energy. We know that semen can reabsorb in the body and generate new tissues. So from a health perspective as well, you're going to have more vitality and chi. There's actually a compound in sperm called spermidine, and there's thousands of research papers showing how it promotes longevity and autophagy, which is a process of cellular cleanup. So recirculating the chi throughout the body is a good idea. Number two, integrity. Now, this right here is my number one value. I've been through a lot in my life, and I could have switched up so many times. Like, I could not be where I am today, and staying true to what I know is real has been most important. Also, the more that you have of that, the more you're going to be able to serve others because they know they can actually rely on you. Like your word means something. Staying true to who you really are, your values, and staying in alignment with the truth. Keeping your word. Saying what you mean and meaning what you say. If you don't have this, not much is going to be left. Number three is freedom orientation. Now, freedom is really the foundation of everything. Like, without it, there's nothing. So this is all intertwined here. Freedom to be who you really are, like free from hindrances in all areas of life, health, wealth, relationships, like clearing all that out and replacing what you actually want. Like freedom is not just about doing whatever it is that you want, because what are your results in life? I'm a big results guy. Like if we're not doing something and it's not working correctly, then have the audacity to look at it and switch up. Don't change the goal, change the approach. Also, a lot of us are psychologically trapping ourselves. Like we are stuck in these limiting beliefs that just kind of hold us back. We don't even notice it. Like we're so close to the life that we actually want, and all we have to do is change a few things in our mind usually just to get us to get going. And when we start to become aware of these beliefs, we can actually change it. Awareness is always the first step to change. Like if you're not doing well in a certain area of your life, just start with the mind. Like what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What have you done in the past? Like self-assessment, right? And work from the inside out rather from the outside in. I talk a lot about freedom on this podcast. There's a lot to learn there. But freedom orientation is really about growth and expansion, like removing all blocks and just going for growth and service. That's what we're all here for in the end. The next section here is altruism. which is looking out for life as a whole and wanting to see things get better. Like as men, we are protectors of the realm. Protecting and defending what is real is very important. And unfortunately, we see a lot of lack within that. So doing whatever we can within ourselves and our families, and that's how we expand it and get a better world. Like being generous is a virtue, giving from your overflow so you're not being drained, right? Like this is why like we need to have our practices in place, like becoming the best version of us every single day so we actually feel good and we can serve from that place. The average individual is not energetically vibrant enough to sustain long-term service in a real way, which is why it starts with us. The next section is love is real. Like we have to have the ability to do hard things, but we also have the need to love. That is because it is the most powerful force on the entire planet. Fear is useless unless you give it power. All the positive attributes of masculinity are born out of love. It takes love to get up every day and get after it. Like, better your life. Serve. Coming from a place of growth and service is a key. What I see from a lot of people who like are really about that life and growth and service, like sometimes though, their come from is not healthy. Like they're doing it from a place of fear. Like they're doing the practices, like they're doing the things, but their come from is almost like they're running from something instead of being pulled toward a higher vision. And those two energies are completely different. Like one is going to be much more fulfilling in the long term, and it'll be longer lasting for sure. The other one, like yeah, you're making progress, but it's just not the goal in the long term. Like you want to enjoy things as well. Like it's about who you become, not just about, because when you're pulled to a higher vision, you're more so in the process of becoming. Because being happy with who you are is also becoming. Like you can't neglect that. Like balancing your energy is very important. Like masculinity. Like here's an example. So yeah, lift weights, train firearms and martial arts, and give the finger to the tyrants. But I also journal, meditate, relax, and go in the forest. This is important because if you just have the yang energy without the yin, you're going to burn out at some point. It's important to balance and restore the chi. So let's get into the principles of king. Number 1, the automatic solution response. When we are presented with a problem, are we going to be focused on the problem or the solution? Because both of them exist. Being relentlessly solution-oriented is key. Like a solution does not always mean a resolution. Sometimes it just means improvement. Always finding a way and being relentless in getting there. Number 2 is learning to protect. Learning how to protect yourself and others really matters. Protecting your family and people in general is a good idea. Learning martial arts and how to shoot is a good start. The most strength and intelligence actually comes from not needing to use it in the first place. Peace first and violence is a last resort. Also, this can be a great form of personal development as well. Learning all the skills and the tactics, and relating them on how to build higher quality character traits. Learning to become a sheepdog and the protector of your people. Lastly, being a protector is not just about the physical, but also people's minds and emotions as well. Look, protect what is innocent. In today's world, we have a lot of negativity and things pulling us away from our highest version. Protecting against that as well. Number 3 is sober-minded. I've never drank, never smoked, never done any drugs. If I'm on the internet, it's for research/creation. For a king, must stay sober-minded. You cannot expect to be on point and mentally sharp if you are indulged in these short-term pleasures. Look, I'm not saying you can't drink or anything like that. That is not what this is about. The question we need to ask ourselves is this in alignment with my value system, and is this making my life better? And the chances are we may need to reevaluate this. A king must make the best decisions for the majority of the people. In order to do this, he must have a free mind. Last section is Brotherhood. A king's purpose is to serve from a place of abundance. The greatest level of service will become from the greatest version of oneself. Also, you cannot do this alone. You will need brotherhood. A king's brothers, freedom fighting savages with no mercy. Brothers that stand shoulder to shoulder. Freedom is the path and the foundation toward greatness. The paradox is both kings and brothers simultaneously. Alright everyone, thank you for tuning into the show. For more, you can head over to anthonygastella.com for articles, coaching, and other free resources. Also, if you can, leave a review for the show, let people know what you think, and I would appreciate that so much. Support the mission of freedom. Thanks for being on this mission with me, and I promise to give you more powerful, empowering, great content to help transform your life. Thanks for tuning in.